All right, welcome to Ms. Nestler's open house. This is just what the students see when they walk in the hallway. This is what I'm currently reading, which is Holes, and this is just really to help and promote students to find different books that they may be interested in, things that they may not have seen before. So just looking into our classroom, this is our Future World Leaders board. Students went ahead and on the first day of school I took a picture of them and they told me what they wanted to be when they grow up. And this is just going to be a constant reminder for them to always try their best and really work hard to become what they want to be, and to remind them that they really can be whatever they want to be. So just looking into our classroom, this is our cart for the students. They have full access to this whenever they need to. There's lined paper, pencils, just various things for them that they need. When we walk around, this is just some grammar things that are common amongst fifth graders that they tend to forget. So this is just a nice reminder for them. On our reading board we have, this is currently an anchor chart that we did for characterization of Ben Maroney from Night of the Spadefoot Toad, which is our first book that we are currently reading. This board will have various things that we are currently working on and reading, just as reminders for students. And then any of those anchor charts that we make throughout the school year will get posted around the classroom just as a constant reminder for them of some of the stuff that they've learned. Right up at the top we have growth mindset, because we know that as fifth grade scholars we want to have a growth mindset. We know that we're going to struggle, but we are going to persevere through that and make sure that we come out on the other side a better person. This is our daily schedule right up front here. Nestler scholars are with me first thing in the morning, and so they do reading first thing, and then Turner scholars are with me in the afternoon. This is 1 through 4, so students can self-evaluate. By the time that they're in fifth grade, they truly know how well they are understanding stuff. So I have them do self-evaluation quite a bit so I can see where they're at and really having them take charge of their learning. Over here we have, again, our daily schedule for the students up at the top, date and stuff like that. We have a weekly sentence study. So each week we will, I will select a mentor sentence from the text that we are reading, or from the read aloud that we are currently reading, which this for this unit it is Hatchet. It goes nicely with Night of the Spadefoot Toads. And so as a class, they copy it into their writing notebook first thing on Mondays, and then we go ahead and do our notices and just really analyze and look at the sentence, and really that's like the focus of our grammar lessons. So at the beginning of the school year here, we're kind of just going over parts of speech, verbs, linking verbs, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and adverbs, all of those different things, just as a nice reminder for the students. And then as the year progresses, the sentences we will continue to analyze, but at a deeper level, really starting to look at other aspects of grammar. Up at the front, we have our class meeting notes. On Fridays with Mr. Turner's class, we have a joint class meeting in which we open up the door. Students are able to write down any questions that they may have for either myself or Mr. Turner, any kudos they have for any of the students within the classes, and then any concerns or suggestions that they have. This really just helps the students to get it off of their chest what they feel like could better our classroom, or any questions that they have for the good of the group. Now we've discussed this and really said that make sure that the questions are for the good of the group, not just on an individual basis, and the students are really, or scholars are doing really well at that. Next we have our writing board. Being that it's only the second week of school, we are in the process of doing some writing stuff, but we have not gotten there quite yet. So this will have another anchor chart in which we will model opinion writing, narrative writing, informative writing, and just various things. WRES is the writing strategy that we use for our readers' response questions, which they see on their task list. Over there is the kidney-shaped table where I host small groups and then ERLA groups, which is our reading groups. Whenever students need to come over there, they're more than welcome. Typically during the day and when I'm teaching, I'm not really sitting over there a ton, so it's a lot of just getting up and walking around, and the only thing we really do over there is ERLA groups or small groups as necessary. There's the Future World Leaders board again. In the back corner we have here is our classroom library and like our little reading nook area. So all of our texts, our classroom library texts we have are organized by genre, and students know that they have a 40-book challenge that they are working to complete by the end of the school year that will help them to become better readers and better scholars. And so that's a challenge that they're currently working towards. There is going to be incentives at the end of the school year and then a mid-quarter or like a halfway mark that we are in the process of making up for the students. In the back here is our Scholars Library log, where students go ahead and check out any books that they need to do from our classroom library. In the gray bin we have there is for my scholars. We do morning choice in the morning. So when the students come in the morning, they go ahead, they come in, they answer our whiteboard prompt, which we'll discuss in a minute, write down their homework in their agenda, and then they are able to do morning choice. So in there's currently Jenga, there's cards that they can play, multiplication, division, facts, Sudoku, just different things to really help build the community in our classroom. And so students can really get to know each other better. We know as adults that we don't really enjoy coming into school or coming into work and just sitting down and getting right to work. We like to have that conversation with our peers, and so the students the scholars are the exact same way. So we have that conversation and they're able to talk with their friends in the morning. Over here on the whiteboard prompt, each day there is a whiteboard prompt that just really helps to build the community, gets the scholars talking about various things. Tomorrow's Friday, so they have to state one thing that they did this week that helped one thing they did this week to make someone else feel good. Through that is Mr. Turner's door. Scholars within my class transition through that door, and when Mr. Turner's scholars come in, they enter through the main door. In the back here we have Keep the Quote. So that was our quote for the first week of school, be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. We discussed that on Mondays and we come up with a quote that we want to use as our class quote, and the students really work hard to become like whatever it is that quote is talking about. So be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. We were looking for other scholars that were going above and beyond and really trying to make others feel good about themselves when they could tell that they were down. This currently board, or hashtag currently board, is our current events board. Currently we have 2 passages within those. We have not yet introduced this, but we are in the process of it. Scholars will be able to choose one of the 2 passages. They will then go ahead, read it, reflect within My Learning and on SharePoint, or in My Learning, just reflecting on what they read and responding with their honest thoughts within your class discussion on My Learning. Then they will go ahead and grab a post-it note. There will be post-it notes back here, one color for my class and then one color for Turner scholars, and they will go ahead and this is their student numbers 1 through 25 within the 2 of our classes, and they'll go ahead and share out with the class what they were wondering about that article or what their opinion was, and that's just to help other scholars decide which passage they want to read. Here we have some of our social studies curriculum that we are working on. Here we just have classroom expectations, making sure that we're always kind, showing respect, just different things as a positive reminder for the students in the classroom. Nestler Scholars, that is the sign that my scholars created and pieced together on the 2nd or 3rd day of school. And then here, the last thing we really have is our group work, or our table groups. So we have a total of 6 different table groups here. Within the table groups, there is the text that we are currently reading. So right now it is going to be Night of the Spadefoot Toad. And then within that, they have their group bins. So within the group bins is highlighters, expo markers, colored pencils, glue sticks, and post-it notes. And that's just really a community supply within the table. So that way, anytime that they need it and they don't have it, it's there and it's easy access for them. You'll also notice the post-it notes that are on the desks. This is just so that way students are not always sitting at the same spot and always with the same other scholars. That way they're talking to different people, they're engaging in different conversations and stuff like that, and trying to really make sure that they're stretching out of their comfort zone and getting to know others. So that is everything that is within my classroom. Thank you guys for joining me, and if you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out via email, and I will be sure to respond. Have a great one.